This is going to be a video about my Innova 5610 scanner. I'm going to cover some of the special tests that this scanner will do, some of the information that's kind of hard to find online, and just cover a little bit of the research that I gathered, and if this scan tool is a correct fit for you, what it will do, what it won't. And we're going to go into some of the actuator tests. I'm not going to do a full in-depth dive because I have a 2008. It's not going to be able to do every single one of these, like, a steering wheel angle reset, but it is capable of that, and I will show what it can do and what it won't be able to. So I had left it in here to mention that I wish that it had come with a hard case. It's a great scan tool for the price, but man, if they just threw in a hard case where I could have put it in next to my toolbox, or in my tool backpack, that would have been amazing. But this little soft package, it's not a hard case by any means, but it works. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. And let's see here. So here is the unit. So you have a erase button, you have system status, DTC code, so this you just hit it, it'll always bring up the codes, power, the menus, live data, and these two buttons are different. This will take you in and out of menus. It's a convenience thing, and it is pretty nice. So it also has a detachable cable. So I'm going to go ahead and power this unit up. I got to turn the screen away because I have some VINs on here for vehicles that aren't mine. And it'll bring up the bootloader and all of that stuff. And then I'm going to go to my Chevrolet. And then, so it's got vehicle selection. It'll tell you the firmware and all of that stuff. So you can go ahead, and this has also a 6-foot detachable OBD2 cable. I already mentioned that, but it's also nice to mention that it's detachable. And it's pretty convenient because when you store it and you drive along the road like I do, it sometimes can make it a pain in the butt. So being able to just store that is pretty nice. And then when you go ahead and plug this bad boy in, you can go ahead and, let me see, sorry. Sometimes these are hard to get in. There it is. And another cool thing is yes, this has a detachable cable with an LED light, which is pretty nice. So let me get this in here. There we go. Alright. Sorry, I got a little cable snag. So it'll also do an auto link. It'll bring it all up. I'm going to do it one more time just to show you guys. So it'll say linking to CAN, and now we are linked up with my ECU. The reason it's got this Bluetooth and Wi-Fi icon is that it will also link up to your phone and do a crash report, or a OBD2 report. So it'll tell you everything going on, all the codes you're throwing, even predicted maintenance and stuff like that. And there's also, I think, 7 or 6 day a week support from Innova whenever you buy the scanner. You can call, and from what I understand, the support there is amazing. I don't know that, that's just what I have read. And they're all ASE certified. So I have no code stored in my system, but we're going to go over the first thing, and the biggest thing for me was finding, can this thing do a crank position test? Can it do some of the special, what are the special functions, and how far can you go with this scan tool exactly? Well, there's a lot you can do with this scan tool, and for $329, it's a pretty awesome deal. So first things is it will do a system actuator test. It's going to ask you to confirm if this is your vehicle. Like I said, with these buttons, yes, no, easy stuff right here. So I go yes, and then it'll say 1 moment. It's going to start reading and talking to my ECU. So these are all of the things it can do that on this, just the special and actuator test and menus and stuff like that. So you have a crank variation learned, engine speed, and throttle relearned. You have your fuel system, oil reset idle, and you also have service bay tests. So for crank position, it will go, you will start it. I'm not going to go through the full test because I don't want to wake up the neighbors or anything like that. It'll tell you exactly what's going on, and it will actually know, and it'll have you do the setup for the test, and it will know, actually, because this tool is bidirectional, it will not let you continue with the test if it's not within the range, which is nice because if you aren't and you don't know and you mess up, you can figure that out and continue on and not mess it up. So you can do that, and then it'll say, hey, this is what you need to do. And then after that, you will have to go and you can hit next, and then it'll say 1 moment, and then it'll tell you what's going on inside the vehicle, and then you can go and it'll actually say, so my foot's off the brake right now, but if I go and I put my foot on the brake, then that's gonna say applied, and when I let off, released. So that is pretty nice. And then I'm not going to do a crank position reset and rev my car to 4,000 RPM in the middle of the night. So then it'll also do an engine speed and throttle. So with the engine speed control, you can see RPM control, and you can adjust this. And you can literally go in here, go to next, and then if you want to increase or decrease it by 25, you can. Now I'm not going to do that because I got my stuff that's back. And then it'll do a throttle position, and then it'll have you retrain your throttle body if you don't know how to do that. And then fuel system, it'll start telling you cylinder power, balance, fuel injector. I can't do that. I don't have the gauge for it, and I'm not going to try to mess with that. It'll do your oil life reset, and then it'll also do reset idle learn. And then some service bay tests, which are just your evap normally. And then that's pretty much it for that menu. Now, past that, you have your, if you've had any Innova scan tool, a lot of this stuff is still standard, but some of the cooler stuff will be up at the top. So you go to your system actuator, and then I think there's also, you can do, let me see, sorry here. You can do your, so you can pull up live data for like your TPMS. You can do live data for that. It'll pull up, and this will do live data for not only your TPMS, it'll do it for your ECU like normal. You can pull up codes for every single module in this car because this tool is bi-directional. If you want to see a live data overview or video about how the live data works in this, just let me know in the comments. And then it'll do your all module scan and Chevrolet OEM enhanced. And the difference with this is it's not just scanning your engine for OBD2 codes, it's scanning everything in it and saying, does this have good connection here, and does this have good connection here? If it doesn't, it's gonna let you know that, and it'll even throw codes sometimes if it doesn't. Like I threw a vent code for my charcoal canister, and I didn't even know that I had one back there, and then sure enough I found it. And you can even do module selection. So you can go to your powertrain and do the engine or just the transmission. You can go to your chassis and you can scan all of your stuff for your electronic brake control. And there's nothing, you know, I don't have any codes right now. And then you just hit the main menu button, and there you go, you're back at the main menu. And then you can do your service resets as well. And then you'll have your oil brake reset. You have a steering angle sensor calibration, EBF reset, DPF reset, ABS bleeding, and this will do it. Then you have your, you know, battery and alternator testing. You can actually check this, and it'll have you run through it. But this is a really good scanner. I think for $329, I think this is an excellent value. I had to do a crank position relearn, and it was going to cost me, just to have them hook up a Tech 2 scanner, $150. Well, if I needed another one, then I'm going to have to spend another $150. Oh, I already had the scan tool, and if you're going to need to do a crank position relearn, you're going to have, you know, something to read OBD2 scanners. So you can go out and get something like this for $329 and save yourself the money. And if you have to do it more than once, like I did, and I did have to, then you know how to do that, and you have the tool to do that. So for $329, I don't think this is a bad tool at all. Like I said, I really wish there was some kind of hard case for it. But other than that, I mean, it's really awesome. And it'll clear even your SRS codes. Any code in here, it has access to clear and the permission to do so. And that's pretty much it. I mean, if there's anything specific you guys want me to go over, just go ahead and let me know in the comments below. I'll go ahead and read them. But yeah, I just figured I'd like to show some of the stuff that I had a hard time finding on the internet. And thank you. Have a good night.